Yeah, morning all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold like 17 plus years of experience, right? Which includes nearly 8 plus years of experience in Python environment. So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django-based applications. So well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, and Beautiful. So, right, and experience in implementing large-scale business-critical systems using object-oriented design and programming using concepts like Python and Django, and developing varieties of web applications implementing MVT architecture, right, using server-side applications, right. So, before I start, right, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Visual, sir.
Okay. So as part of this demo, right, I'll be discussing like why Python. Why Python? Means Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced in the year 1989, right? Almost 30 years ago. But why all of a sudden Python has got a great boom? Reasons which makes Python super popular, right? Yes. Fine. And what are the prerequisites to learn Python? Who can learn Python, right? Anybody can update with Python, right? There is no prerequisite that you need to have the knowledge of C or Java. So the Python statements look like normal English statements. They're not as complex as other programming languages, right? How Python was built? How Python was built, right? So I'll just brief you about all these things, right? How Python was built. Means Python has taken some advantages from one programming, some other advantages from other programming. In this way, from multiple programming languages, it has taken the advantages. So because of which we call Python as a hybrid language. It has got the features of multiple programming language, because of which we call it as Python as a hybrid language. So what kind of applications are we developing today by using Python? Python mostly used for developing what kind of application? So Python real-time applications. And who are using Python today? Python usage. Who are using Python today? Okay, next, like Python features. Python usage and Python features as compared with other programming. What are the flexible features provided by Python? And next, Python comparison with other programming, right? Coding wise, length wise, complexity wise, we can check, right, how the coding of Python looks as compared with other programming, right? Python comparison. With other programming, right? Yes. Reasons, right? Yes. Reasons why Python, right? Reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, right? Yes. Reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. Reasons which makes it, right? And Python scope and job market. The scope of Python, right? And the job market of Python currently, and scope of the Python even in the upcoming years, right? Yes. Python scope and job market. Okay. So starting with why Python? Why we have got already many programming languages? Why again Python required? Why Python? So Python, I can say like Python is a General purpose programming. It's a general purpose programming. I can say like I define Python in 5 lines. It's a general purpose programming, right? Multi-programming features are involved, right? Multi-programming features. What all the features we see in different other programmings, all those we can see within this Python. Multi-programming features. It's a high-level language. Python. I'll just brief you about all this, right? Python is a high-level language, and it's an interpreted language. User-friendly programming language. User-friendly programming language, right? General purpose programming, multi-programming features, high level, interpreted and user-friendly programming language. Okay. So if I talk about what do you mean by general purpose programming, Python is a general purpose programming, right? Yes. So before Python, we have got some programming languages, right? Like if you heard about the languages like Pascal, we have got languages like Fortran, we have got languages like COBOL, right? These languages, right? Like Pascal, these are for developing scientific applications. Pascal is a programming language for developing scientific applications. And if you talk like Fortran it's used for complicated mathematical applications. Used for complicated mathematical applications. And COBOL for business applications. Means what is your observation here? They are used for a particular purpose. This is for business applications. They're used for a particular purpose, but a language which is suitable for developing any type of application, such a language we call it as general purpose programming language. So Python is such a kind of programming where we can develop any kind of applications. Like today, like web applications, automation applications, gaming applications, networking applications, embedded applications, console applications. Different varieties of applications can be developed by using Python. It's not purpose based, but these languages are purpose based languages. Multi-programming features. I'll give a labor example, right? For example, if you want to launch a new product in the market, think that you want to launch a mobile phone into the market. To attract the customers, what you want to see, what features you want to see means what all the features we see in different other mobiles, all those, if you're embedding into a single piece and if you're releasing it, right, going to attract the customers. The same way, Python is a kind of programming where we can see the features of different other programming languages within it. That's why multi-programming features. That's why we call Python as a hybrid language. High level language. Python is a high level language. Okay, what do you mean by, okay, there are two types of languages. Two types of languages. Low level language and high level language. Low level languages like machine understandable, like assembly level language. Assembly level language or machine level language, right? These languages, firstly, they are not human understandable. They are not human understandable. They are not human understandable. Secondly, they are not portable, right? These low level languages, they are not human understandable, right? and they are not portable and machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardware and all the operating systems. They are not portable, right? Yes, and the machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardware and all the operating system. Machine dependent. Okay, but high level language, right? Yes. High level languages. These are high level languages that like Python comes as a high level language, right? Python comes as a high level language. They are human understandable, right? They are portable and machine independent. Human understandable, they are portable and machine independent, right? Yes. Okay. Machine independent means they can run on all the hardware and all the operating systems, right? Yes. So they look like human understandable means Python statements look like normal English statements. They can be easily understandable, right? Yes. And Python is an interpretation language, line by line execution, which makes debugging easier, right? So if you talk like Python coding, right? So if you see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some lines, Python statements executes statement by statement, right? Which makes debugging easy, right? User-friendly programming language and programmer-friendly programming language, which provides simple syntaxes. The Python syntaxes looks like normal English statements, right? Yes. So Python has taken some advantages from one programming, some other advantages from other programming. So what are the features we see Python has? Python has procedural oriented programming features, right? Procedural oriented programming features. Example like C language. It has got the features of C language, and it has got the features of object oriented programming. It has got the features of object oriented programming. It has got the features of object oriented. Example like C++, Java. It has got the features of scripting, right? Scripting languages. Scripting features. Example like shell script. It has got the features of modular programming. It has got the features of modular programming, right? It has example like modular 3. Yes, Python has got procedure-oriented programming features, object-oriented programming, scripting, and modular programming features, right? Yes. So the Java programmers or developers are strictly restricted to use only object-oriented programming, right? But Python, right, with object-oriented, without object-oriented, with procedure-oriented, with modular programming or with scripting, that we can develop many varieties of applications. Okay. We can develop many varieties of applications. Okay. In especially in IoT, in robotics, In AWS DevOps, right, we'll write many automation scripts as compared with shell script. We can go with the Python scripts, which looks very simple and easy to understand. And Python has got great boom today because of this modular programming. Nearly modules, 89,300 inbuilt modules. Python has got nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules, right? Yes. For different domains, right? Yes. Because of this, yes, it is providing modules for different domains, right? So if I talk about Python modules, it is providing separate modules, right? Python has got separate modules. Okay, if I talk about modules for data science, Python has got separate modules, right? So like modules like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, right? It has got, so Python has got separate modules. Next, like big data. For big data also, Python has got separate modules. Okay. For data science, separate modules. For big data, it has got separate modules. And for testing, right, Python has got separate modules, right? For every domain, whatever domain you are from, Python provides separate modules for this. For networking, and for operating system kinds of, right, OS. For operating system, right, OS kinds of activities, right, it has got separate modules. And for connecting with any database, right, for connecting with any, like for every database, for Oracle, Python to connect with Oracle, we have got CX underscore Oracle. So it's very simple for Python to connect with database, right? Just the module and this connecting details, username, password is enough, right, to connect with a database. We will no need to write huge codings here, right? Even for every database, for MySQL, we have got PyMySQL or MySQL dot connector, right, to connect with this database. For every database, it provides a module. For example, for SQL Server, we have got PyODBC. The name of the module is what? PyODBC is the module. Okay. For different types of files, Excel files, I want to write Python statements to create an Excel file, to create a sheet within the Excel file, to write data to Excel file, to read data from an Excel, right? And not only Excel file, like CSV files, comma separated values files. What is the CSV files? JSON files. Excel files, CSV files, JSON files, PDF file. Python program, right, to create some PDF files, right? If you just write some Python statements, executing some PDF files creates, Excel files creates, CSV files creates. We can read data, we can write data into it, and working with any other, right? Working with statistics, we have got separate model Python provides for statistics. Even for mathematical operations, math, the name of the model is math for statistics. And for generating graphs, any kind of graphs we can develop, right, today by using Python. Normal graphs, bar graphs, histograms, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graph, any types of graphs. It looks very simple generating graphs in Python. For plottings, visualizations, for data analysis, right? So Python is preferred. And Python real-time applications. What kind of applications are we developing today by using Python? Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications? Python real-time applications. What kind of applications we can develop means, right? Python mostly used in creation of web applications. Lot of web applications are getting developed today by using Python. You may ask, from last 20 to 25 years, Java, .NET, all this, they are used for developing web applications. Why again Python? Python has got frameworks like Django framework, the most famous framework. At a rapid speed, you can develop a web application using this Django framework, right? At a rapid speed, you can develop a web application. That too with very less coding, right? Secondly, Python mostly used in automation applications. Automation applications, right? Using technologies like data science. Using technologies like data science, using technologies like IoT, and using technologies like AWS DevOps. Okay. Yes, and for data science applications, for IoT applications, for DevOps applications, right? Especially if we talk about this IoT, Internet of Things, right? IoT, right? Today, everything through internet, right? Everything through online, online banking, online shopping, online exams, online healthcare, right? Online education, e-learning, online business, e-commerce, online communication, audio, video, chatting, right? Online gaming, online healthcare, everything through online, right? So I can say IoT is a physical network or device embedded with electronic software, sensors, network connectivity, and for controlling data, for exchanging data and controlling the things from the place where we are, right? Yes. Okay. So in a simple way, in the coming days, we see, right, a lot of applications creations using this IoT, where different electronic devices connects and communicates with each other, right? So you should have seen like smartphones, you should have seen like smart TVs. You're going to see like smart homes and smart cities. So here, the coding goes in Python, 90% of coding in Python. Okay. And if we come to this data science, that everything deals with the data, and using data or data science, we perform data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clustering, data recommendations. So the main technique what we see in data science, EML, machine learning, right? Yes. Machine learning. So machine learning, right? Yes. Yeah. Machine learning. It is an approach where we provide some patterns to an application based on which the application can predict in the random fashion. So for we have got many machine learning techniques available. Machine learning techniques like regression techniques, classification techniques, clustering techniques, recommendation techniques, pattern matching techniques. For all these techniques to implement, right, we require a language. So Python is the mostly chosen or mostly used programming, right? So we require a language. So Python is mostly chosen or mostly used programming for this. Yes, 1 second. Okay, so Python is the mostly chosen programming for this data science or machine learning environment, where Python has got different modules available for plottings, visualizations, for data analysis, right? For all this, and even in the DevOps environment also, right? So if you talk, we're writing many automation scripts, and not only for this, right? Python acts as a remedy for any problem in the software field, right? Right. And if it comes to this DevOps side, right, it's offers a structural solution in terms of automating the tasks in the different stages of DevOps life cycle, like requirement gathering, system design, system implementation, system testing, system deployment, and system maintenance, right? For all this, right, Python has got vast varieties of Python libraries which allows, right, to write scripts for the improved development life cycle, right? Yes. Apart from this, Python is also used for this big data environment, right? Big data environment. Within this big data, right, you should have seen where exactly it is going to be used. Means just I'll take like 1 minute of time. So currently, if you see how the data is getting stored, KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs of data, terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, okay. So petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, petabytes, so on, right? So from TB onwards, we say like big data, right? 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs. Okay, from TB onwards, we say it as big data or huge data. So do you think like petabytes or exabytes of data, is it getting generated? Examples of it? Yes. Not only a single application, multiple applications generating data in petabytes, right? If you talk like, if you talk about like, if I take only 1 minute transaction, right? If you take the social media like Facebook, millions and trillions of users for Facebook, right? In a minute, what is the data generated by Facebook, right? And what is the data generated by Facebook in a minute, right? And in a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated, and what should be the storage for it? Huge, right? Yes. In the same way, like Twitter tweets, or if you talk about Google queries, huge data, right? And if you talk about you, everyone creating your own videos and uploading, right? YouTube videos upload. And if you talk like millions and trillions of users using email messages, or talk about the bank transactions, or talk about these telecom transactions, or that e-commerce sites, Flipkart, Amazon, right? All this, they are generating huge data. So for this, we have got some big data tools available. Big data tools, right? Big data, Hadoop, and Spark. They use languages like Scala. They use languages like Python. The big data tools like Hadoop, Spark, they use languages like Scala and Python. Python is preferred most. Like Spark with Python, we call like PySpark, right? Very high speed processing, right? For data engineers, right? Yes. So even in the big data environment, Python is preferred. Apart from this, I list out the various other applications where Python is mostly preferred, right? Scientific applications. Scientific applications and for numerical analysis, right? We use models like NumPy, numerical Python. What is that? NumPy, numerical Python, CP for scientific Python, right? And apart from this, for graphics, graphical user interface, or for animation applications, Python is mostly preferred. We have got PyQt, TK intermodules for it, and for even for gaming or game development, right? Yes. Game development, right? Especially for developing games in Python, right? Like single user games, multi-user games. Okay. So we have got a separate framework Python is providing for this game development, right? Pygame. It's a framework given by Python for developing games in Python. Not only Pygame, we have got other frameworks available, right? Like PyCora for even for developing games, and PySci for 3D rendering libraries. Apart from this, Python used for scheduling tasks, right? Scheduling tasks. And for testing or test cases. And Python also used for software development. Okay. For software development. So okay, one second. Software development, right? Software developers make use of Python as a support language. Okay, like for example, if you use like Buildbot, Apache Gump for automated compilation and testing, Roundup Track for project management and bug tracking. Even if it's software development, right? And it is also used, Python also used in business applications. Business application, right? Yes. It is one of the greatest business applications, right? Yes. We can develop like 3-tier high-level general purpose applications, right? Fine. Python is one of the best choice to develop e-commerce sites and database applications. Database application. This is one of the hottest Python applications, right? It can connect with MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, right? SQL Server, and for network programming, right? And for network programming, network applications, right? Python has got a separate framework, like Twisted Python is a framework given by Python for developing network applications for network programming, right? And for web scraping, scraping data from different sites, harvesting data or extracting data from different websites like Amazon, Flipkart, right? And for audio video applications, audio and video applications like team player, C play, right? We have got like team player and C play. There are some of the applications which already got developed by using Python. Apart from this Python, right? Python can also be used for data analysis. Python is used for computer vision, right? For color detection, face detection, object detections, right? Yes. And apart from this, right, Python can also be used for CAD applications, computer aided design led CAD applications, and for embedded applications, right? Python is used for embedded applications. The most famous embedded application, right? Raspberry Pi. The most famous application like Raspberry Pi, which uses Python for its computation. So these are some of these applications, right? Who are using Python: web applications, automation applications, big data, scientific, gaming, test cases, business, database, audio and video applications like computer vision, right? CAD applications, and right. Who are using Python today? Who are using Python today? And topmost applications built by using Python. Topmost applications built by using Python. So I'll just list out some of those applications who are using Python today. They are built by using Python today, right? Yes. First one, Google, right? Google using Python for its web search systems. Google is one of the best example for Python web applications, right? So the Google web crawling first written in Java, it was so difficult, so it was rewritten in Python, right? Yes. Yahoo using Python, right? YouTube using Python for its video sharing service, right? YouTube using Python for its video sharing service. Instagram, right? Instagram is built by using Python. Instagram is built by using Python. Instagram, right? And the prime reason for Instagram for to build with Python, right? So it's practicality and multi-programming features. And Uber, right? Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. And many other applications, right? Like Quora, Reddit. You've got like Quora, Reddit. Pinterest, they are built by using Python. And one of this classic example, right? Like Python, like a company choosing Python programming, right? And if you see the famous OTT platform, right? Netflix using Python. Netflix is using Python, right? So where it is using Python libraries like CP, NumPy, it is using Python for its security, automation, subscription purpose, right? Fine. Dropbox using Python. Dropbox built by using Python, right? Maya, a powerful 3D animation, it uses Python. MMOG, massively multiplayer online games. So this even I was talking about this Instagram, right? It's a photo and video sharing social media network platform, right? BitTorrent using Python for its file sharing service, right? Ironport email server, right? Ironport email server, which uses more than 1 million lines of Python code to do its job. And iRobot for military and commercial applications. For iRobot, right? For military and commercial applications, right? We go for it. Okay, so these are some of those who are using Python today and topmost applications built by using. From the discussion from what we had, right? Yes, reasons which makes Python super popular, right? Reasons which makes Python super popular. Reasons which makes Python super popular, right? So most of these programmers or developers are attracted towards Python and migrating towards Python because of this very less coding in Python, firstly, right? Very less coding. People like any programming language where we see very less coding, right? So first thing is very less coding, not even 1/4 coding as compared with other programming. Very less coding. Simple syntaxes given by Python. Simple syntaxes. Simple syntaxes given by Python. The syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements. And multi-programming features, hybrid features. Python has got what all the programming languages we have got, that Python has got all its features, scripting features, object-oriented, procedural-oriented, modular programming, all those we'll be discussing as part of our course, right? And one more major advantage, right? Like interactive mode supported by Python. Interactive mode means we can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives the response. For example, if I go to this search in the bottom right, type cmd and go to this command prompt and type Python there, right? Yes. And say enter. If your Python is already installed, like Python 3.11 is the version. You can see this three arrow symbol, this Python interpreter where we can type any valid Python statements. Any valid Python statements like what is 3 plus 4? Use the response 5 into 7, right? X is 10. Y is, what is X value? What is Y value? X into 2, 10 to X to the power of 2. What is X plus Y value? What is X minus Y? X into Y, right? Sorry, it's in uppercase. X into Y, right? Yes. X into 2 means, okay. This is multiplication. This is power symbol, 10 square. X equal, any valid Python statements you can type and you can interact, right? X equal to hello. X into 3 prints hello for 3 times. X into 5 prints hello for 5 times. So in this way, you can type any valid Python statements and interact with Python, right? Statement by statement, interactive mode, right? Apart from this, wide varieties of applications can be developed by using Python, right? Wide varieties of application. I was discussing about all those applications, right? Wide varieties of applications. And many built-in libraries. Python has got many built-in libraries. Many built-in libraries and models, nearly 89,000 models, thousands of models Python has got for different domains, right? And apart from this, it's a general purpose programming, I said, for any kind of applications we can develop by using Python, right? Yes, these are the reasons which makes Python super popular, right? And if you want to see the scope of Python and that job market of Python and scope of Python means, see, there are these two major programming languages, right, which are used currently, right? Python and Java. Java and Python are two major programming languages used in the industry today. But frankly speaking, right, if you see Java, if you go back like in the year 2010, right, it's 43% used in the industry. 43% used. Okay, but in the same 2010, right, Python, most of them, they doesn't know that there was a programming language like Python. Only 3% used, right? Only 3% used. Later, after 10 years, right, from 2020 onwards, 2020, right? Yes. So Java, the usage decreased to 19 and the usage of Python has increased. Python is the #1 ranked programming language today with diversified number of applications, right? 31% used in the industry currently, from 3 to 31%. In the coming years, you see much more increase, right? Where we see most of the implementations of various high-end technologies goes in Python. Okay, I'll just show you some graphs right now. Like, see this, I'll just opening Google and I'll show you like top most popular coding language, right? Yes, popular coding language from last 2-3 years, from the year 2020 onwards. So the Python, the programming language, is considered as the most well-rounded among all, right? Yes. Okay, now see this results for this, right? So if you see the ranking wise, number one ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Python is the number one ranked. Next comes Java, C, C++, right? The most popular programming languages used by top 25 unicorns, Python. Next comes Java, JavaScript. Python remains the most popular programming language. The most popular Python is mostly used. Popularity of Python, right? Using PyPL. And apart from this, Python is also used, mostly used to see this graph, right? See this graph, right? Python, a big circle for Python in green color. Java 19%, C++ 10% nearly, C. So what is the course content we'll be discussing as part of this, right? Starting from the basics to the advanced level. So everything, right? Like what Python basics, features, advantages, versions, flavors, right? Python operations, interactive mode, batch mode, editors, IDs, data types, constants, okay, comments, escape sequences, strings, right? Operators in Python, arithmetic, comparison, logical, all the different types of operators. And in real time, we use IDs, right? I'll be showing you in different IDs, like 5 to 6 IDs, right? Like Anaconda ID, like Anaconda prompt and navigation, right? Jupyter Notebook, PyCharm, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter, Spider, all these IDs I'll be discussing, right? How to download them, how to install them step by step. Yes. And flow control statements. Flow control statements like conditional statements, right? Yes. Looping like while loop, for loop, range function, nested, right? Break, continue, and pass statement. And strings in Python, right? Strings in Python, creating indexing, slicing, concatenation, right? Creating substrings. Collections in Python like list, tuple, sets, dictionaries, list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list, right? Modifying a list, right? A lot of discussion on these collections, right? Tuples, tuple operations, tuple functions, methods, similarly for sets and functions in Python, like types of argument, default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, arbitrary variable length, like types of functions, lambda function, recursive function, map function, filter functions, modules, that nearly 89,300 modules, right? Yes. How to use a model, different ways of importing, renaming, reloading, right? And package with Python, errors and exceptions with Python, right? And file handling with Python, object-oriented programming concepts in brief, object class, object inheritance, polymorphism, right? Regular expressions, right? Extracting data from the given data, Python database connectivity, installation of one database, and how to connect with the database, how to perform different operations, working with SQL queries, right? Transaction management, Python data. I'll be discussing different models related to different domains. Some models related to data science, some related to big data, some related to networking, some related to these databases, some related to operating system, some related to date and time related, right? In this way, different types. Operating system model, advanced concepts, and GUI programming, graphical user interface, right? An Excel workbook. And also like the introduction to this data analytics, introduction to this data science, where Python is preferred, right? Pandas model in brief, NumPy model in brief, and Matplotlib model in brief. So nearly 30 topics we'll be discussing in brief, right? So it will take like 70 to 75 hours, right? Only for this Python. And people who wants to go for full stack, so like framework like Python, right? Django. So introduction to Django characteristics, web frameworks, right? Django installation, Django project architecture, right? Django application creations, Django views, Django templates, Django admin models, advanced concepts, right? And also like what are the things required for this? Like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, everything we discuss in brief, right? So every session is a video recorded. Yes, you will be getting the recorded video of it, and notes, clear notes will be getting to your mail IDs, right? Yes. So here, if you observe, right, total Python core advanced and application oriented models, nearly like 70 hours will be spending, right? The fee is only just, it's a 5k 5,000, right? It's fee structure. And apart from this, people who go for entire full stack, like including Django and also that UI technologies, right? HTML, right? CSS, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and also like finally a project will be discussed. So all this for this also it was 7k previously, now it is given only for 5k as a combo. If you are taking, right, it's just 10k. So where it covers Python, Django, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap project, right? Yes. If you have got any queries, you can ask the queries, right? Yes. And even you can attend the session tomorrow, same time, using the same link, right? To see more on this Python. And in the chart panel, you can see like there is a message given by this online team, right, related to this. So if you want, you can make a note of those, or you can just take a snap of that mobile numbers. So in the for future reference for links, other things, right? And also the payment details, everything is posted in the chart panel, and just check it, right? So any queries from your side, anyone, right?
Sir, MySQL, sir.
Yeah, MySQL is discussed. I also said not only discussing MySQL, I said I'll show you the installation of MySQL, also installing MySQL database, working with MySQL, right?
Okay.
Yes, everything will
Whatever
be.
the full stack is there, that only we are give to me.
So even in Python, right? In Python also, I'll be discussing about the database, right? And even in full stack, you will get that. Why?
So
Because
fine.
without database, there is no web application, right? Nearly like I'll be discussing 15 to 20 applications creations during this course, right? And 250 plus code examples, right? Right.
Okay, sir.
So
Sir, I've
one
enrolled
question,
already for
Pardon?
but just one question. So if we are taking a full program, like where we have Python plus SQL plus HTML and all,
Yes, yes, yes.
the total, the total hours would be more than 70, right?
Yes, yes. So here, so it goes like only for Python, it takes 2 months, right? 2 months, 70 hours only for Python, excluding the Django, HTML, all those, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
if we
yeah.
if it is combo, then it will be more than 2 months. So how
So,
many months?
so
Four
total
months, 5 months?
4 months it goes, right? 2 months for Python, and for the other things it goes for 2 months, 4 months, 4.5 months it goes. And if anybody wants to go like parallelly also, right? I mean, so Python, when Python is going in the weekends, with some weekend batches are there, Saturdays and Sunday, like 2 to 2.5 hours on Saturday, 2.5 hours on Sunday. So you can attend Python from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday you can go with those classes. So once you get registered, once you got enrolled, right, you can attend any of my batch. Means if I start any day any HTML, CSS, or UI technologies kind of things, you can attend those. The Django batch, right? You can attend it, right? Parallel if you want to complete within 2.5 or 3 months.
Okay, okay. But anyway, you are going to cover only HTML, right? Either HTML or CSS, or you're
Yeah,
not
no,
going
no,
to
no.
cover.
I'm going to cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. All this I'm going to cover, not one.
Okay.
right?
And sir, are you also going to cover REST API and Flask?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So we have got many say frameworks for Python: Django,
Okay.
Flask, Pyramid, Bottle, TurboGear. So among all this, Django is the mostly used framework and the most flexible framework. It has got its own database also, SQLite 3. So Django has got many flexible features as compared with other like Flask and TurboGear, Bottle, Pyramid, right? So mostly used in the industry is Django framework. Also, I'll give knowledge on Flask and things, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah, any other queries, right?
We have
Sir, are
many
you doing
versions
on the
in.
project about the
So
hello, sir.
yeah, many
Is it
applications,
a
many
real
app-
world project or to be already
so
issued?
yes. So many applications I'll be discussing, right, as part of this. So 15 to 20, more than 20 applications I'll be discussing. So Django is a build a project. What are the different steps involved in Django weekend and weekday batches, right? And if you see that applications creations, see this my project one, project two, right? In this way, we'll be developing many applications in this way, more than 20, right? So if you take any Django applications, right, in this way, and the clear notes on this. Okay, if you see this, different types of applications with clear notes. All right. Step 3. We don't need to write the code, right? All it is available. Step 3, step 4, step 5. So all this in especially in Django framework, right? Already the everything .py files will be already available. We don't need to create them separately, right? Yes. And it has got its own database. It has got its own application server. That's why Django is mostly preferred, mostly used framework. And even Flask also used, but Flask these days Django only preferred more, right? Yes. Any other queries, right?
I have one question. Like we have many versions of Python, right? So we have the latest is 3.11. So you will be teaching that only and all the features of that.
Yes, yes. See if you see, right, if you go to this P, I've got multiple versions of Python installed: 3.8, 3.9, 3.10, 3.11. Currently I'm discussing on 3.11. Okay, you can install multiple versions of Python. 8, 9, 10, 11 you can install. So currently we are working with 3.11 is the latest version. Fine. Apart from this, in real time we use IDEs: Jupyter, Spider, PyCharm, Atom, VS Code, and Anaconda distributions, right? I'll show you all this, how to run this code, right, on these different IDEs. Tomorrow, if you go to any environment, right, you can just have the knowledge on working with different IDEs.
What is the prerequisites for Django? Without Python basic knowledge, can we go for Django? So if you
So
if you
before
want to
I
attend parallel.
So if you want to attend parallelly before Django, I'll be discussing about this web technologies, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these things, right? Where it doesn't require any Python knowledge. Even once we start Django also, first we'll be discussing about the architectural part, basic applications where we won't touch Python, right?
Sir,
Yes,
here on the website, REST API and Flask is not specified. So are we covering that also?
yes.
Because I could not see that in the website. So I was, because I'm more specific into that. Like I also want that to be covered. So that's the reason.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we go for Python certification with this content?
So it's what all the course content we are discussing, right? You can compare with other training sites, right? So we are discussing in brief nearly like 30 topics in brief, right? Even which includes different types of models related to different environments, right? So this is enough for any certification program. In the certification programs, right? If you go for different certification programs of Python, like Microsoft certified for all this, right? They will test you with the core concepts, means like basic concepts, not into advanced concepts, right? So I'll just take a couple of sessions on that, right? How your performance will be measured, how the questions, right? Different types of questions and the time duration, everything I will be discussing.
We'll be discussing regarding interview questions also.
Yes. So at the last I'll be providing you all, but topic wise only we can have that. We will be having the discussion topics. And the sessions will be interactive sessions, right? For every statement I type, you people will be responding with the expected result. And it's not like bringing some pre-written code and just explaining it. Everything I'll be typing how to build the code, right? And getting the output is not the criteria here. So that how to build your own code for any task, what functionalities to be used, and the assignments and tasks will be provided topic wise. Yeah. Any other how much for only Python, right? It takes 2 months, right? It's 70 hours, I said, 2.5 months it goes. In brief, for Python core and Python advanced, right? 2.5 months it takes, 70 hours. So it's not a 45 hours course. So it's a 70 hours course where you will be getting in brief, you will be learning in brief with multiple code examples, right? So you'll be getting great command at the end of this course, right? Where you will see all these features, whatever we have discussed in the course content, right? Fine. So tomorrow also you can attend the session, right? At same time, using the same link to see more on this.
Sir, I have a small doubt on that.
Yes.
Sir,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to take coaching Python or microservices. Which is better, sir?
You should decide, right? In which area you want.
I have taken coaching already in Java. That's why I'm asking.
See one thing, Java today, if you talk about Java, I'm not saying Java also has got. Please be in mute. So I'm not saying I'm not saying that Java and Python are the two major programming languages used today for this application, enterprise applications creations. But if you talk about Python, right? Java is never preferred in automation applications like in data science. Java is never preferred for implementing, right? In machine learning, AI, in all this, Java is never preferred. Even like today, instead of in big data environment also, Python is mostly preferred. In writing automation scripts in IoT, in AWS DevOps, right? Python is mostly preferred. Most of the high-end technologies today are mostly preferring Python because of its thousands of modules it is providing to different environments, right? So Python is the one of the better choice. So directly or indirectly, you'll be touching Python, right? As any software developer, you'll be directly or indirectly, you'll be even that administrators, system administrators, database administrators also, instead of writing that complex shell scripts, you'll be writing Python scripts, right? Which looks like normal English statements. Even if you those who are working in Linux environment, no need of any separate installation of Python. Python comes as inbuilt along with that Linux.
So is this Django is useful for the deployment of the data science applications?
People who wants to go for data science, right? People who wants to go for data science. So for those, right, I was just covering some modules for them. So if you talk like data science, big data environment, if you see uh, like introduction to data science, machine learning, supervised and statistical analysis, and the pandas module, NumPy module in brief and this matplotlib. These models are the plottings. These are especially for prerequisites models of Python for learning, updating with data science. And this Django is not required for you. Those who wants to go for data science.
What is Django actually? Can you
What is it?
give the brief on it, Django, where it is used in real?
Django is a framework of Python. You know, if you in Java, we've got frameworks like Spring, like so all that. For Java also, we have got framework. Sorry, for Python also, we have got framework like Django framework. For especially project creation for web applications creations, this Django framework is required. So I'll just say like, okay, there are two categories of people who learn Python, right? Okay. Two categories of people who update for Python. The first category, right? They learn Python and their career won't be in Python. Like they'll be in data science, in big data environment, where like Spark, PySpark developer, or machine learning engineer, right? Data scientist, and in DevOps, in writing automation scripts, in IoT, in robotics, right? In all this, the Python implementation they use, right? Their career won't be in that. But second category of people who wants to have Python, they want to have a career in Python, right? As a Python developer, right? So these people, right? They need to compulsory have the knowledge, should have the knowledge on Django framework, a project creation, applications creations using Django framework. And for these people who want to use Python, this for these people, right? For these people, I recommend only Python. People who wants to go for data science, big data, DevOps, all this, Python is enough. And people who wants to have a career in Python, right? Go for Django and go for all this web development, right? Where you here in this case of data science or big data, you won't be developing any web applications there. You won't be developing any interactive applications there. You will be developing batch applications, right? Yes. Okay, fine. So yes. So okay, so these are who wants to have career as a Python developer, who wants to have career in Python, go for this Django framework. So where we follow MVT architecture, MVT, model view template. In Java, we follow MVC, right? Here we follow MVT, model view template. Database, like Python views, templates like using HTML, CSS, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay, fine. So if I'm done with the queries, right? So I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 7 o'clock using the same link to see more on this Python, right? So people who are from non-programming or zero programming, right? So you can, tomorrow I'll just show you some sample codings of Python, how they look as compared with other programmings. They look like normal English statements. I said, I will take a task and try to implement in different languages and you can compare coding wise how it Python looks.
One more question I have.
Yes.
Like you said, if you want to go for Python, then you have to learn Django.
Mm.
So we need to learn HTML and CSS also, or that is fine.
Yes, Python, as a Python developer, you need to have the knowledge on HTML, CSS, right? Designing a web page, developing a web page, right? Static page, using those things. Later using Python and using JavaScript, right? We provide some dynamism to that web page. Yes, you need to have the knowledge on that. Since anyhow, I'll be discussing, right? If people who doesn't have knowledge on that. So I'll be discussing that HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Okay, just
Sir,
one
I
more.
have a doubt.
Pardon?
Sir, if we pay 10,000 for the full stack course, so do we have to pay extra for any other courses like which we are teaching like Hadoop and PySpark, which is parallelly going on weekend days?
Yes, yes. I'm just going with big data analytics, right? I am just if you talk people who wants to. I'm also there is one more batch like big data analytics. big data analytics, right? I'm starting a batch this okay, Saturday. There is a demo at 4 p.m. right in the evening, and there's one more batch started last week. So like Hadoop, where Hadoop and Spark with Python, PySpark, Spark with Python implementation, right? So yes. So okay, what you want in this? So big data analytics, right? Spark with Python implementation and Hadoop, right? Yes, there is a batch starting, weekend batch starting, right? Yes.
Okay, so one question. Class timing would be 7 to 8, right?
What is it?
Timing for class is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., right?
Yeah, 7 a.m. to a.m., right? So the same timing, it won't be changed. 7 a.m. IST to 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., right? It will be the same fixed time. Okay, you will be getting the recorded to your Google Drive, notes to your mail IDs. Right? Okay, so okay, fine.
So 1 hour session daily.
Daily 1 hour it will be.
So can't we have 1.5 hours, like 7 to 8:30 a.m.?
No, 7 to 8. 7 to 8, but if possible, I'll be taking some sessions on bigger sessions. I'll be just discussing with you, and bigger sessions on Saturdays, weekends, if possible.
Okay, that will be fine.
I have one question, sir.
Yes.
Actually, what are the levels of certification for gold and advanced level people?
But see here, 1 second, there is no concept of core or advanced, right? So just I'm saying it as Python, right? There is no concept of core and advanced. So there, like some of the institutes, they say like core and advanced, but it's only Python. There's not even for Java also, it's not like core Java, advanced Java. We say it's just Java, it's a language. Python is a language, but only like basic Python, advanced Python, right? So here, if you go for any certification, right, we have got many certifications, right? Like you'll be getting questions of multiple choice, drag and drop, selection from the drop down lists. So, and mostly like they will test you with like basic data types, operators, input output statements, controls, loops, troubleshooting, error handling in modules, right? So how the skills will be measured, right? And what are the varieties types of questions, right? I said I'll be taking session on that separately, right?
Okay, so thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I don't have my own laptop, so could you just tell about the specification, which processor and which OS we need to install on our laptop?
Python, see, Python software size is just 27 MB. It can run on any specifications. There are no specific, right? It can on low configured systems also, it can run. So that depends upon what it can run on any configuration. Just
Okay,
27 MB. It hardly takes 1 to 2 minutes to install Python.
okay, so i3 is sufficient enough.
Yes, anything is okay. So
okay, sir, one more question. Is there any mini or major project will be there after completing this?
yes.
Okay.
In the Django, right? I'll be discussing. And as you asked, like installation, right? Python can be installed. Is a cross-platform language. It can run on any platform, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and even you can install Python in your mobile phone, smartphone, and you can type your code and execute the programs within your mobile phone also.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, fine. So I'm just stopping for here. We'll continue tomorrow, same time at 7 o'clock. Still, if you got any queries, you can ask in the tomorrow session also, right? Yes. Fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow, right? Yes.